Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm an Australian New Zealand dual citizen living in Vancouver, Canada. Feels like it's been a long time since I sat down and filmed a video, and it has been. I think it's been maybe 3 weeks, almost a month since I filmed, and that was unintentional, but a lot had been happening in my life, and I'll get into that a bit more in a second, but I am back filming today. It is absolutely pouring with rain, and we're supposed to be moving into summer in Canada, and we've had a little bit of a teaser. There are some days where it's warm and you think that summer's on its way, and then the next day it's just pouring with rain again. So if you can hear the rain, that's nice. I hope it's a nice sound, but it just means that we are spending our time inside today. So I thought it would be a perfect time to sit. I have my drinks of choice. I have my coffee, and I have my water and my mama mug. So I am ready to sit down and chat with you about what's been going on and where I've been. So when I first started consistently posting videos, I posted my first video the first week of January in 2022, and I was feeling excited. A new year felt like something fresh and full of opportunities, and I was really motivated to document my life, and I just had this vision in my head that 2022 was going to be amazing, going to be my year. We were finally coming out of the pandemic and getting some kind of normal life back. So I was excited, and every day not every day, every week I was coming up with ideas to film for YouTube videos, and I had something to look forward to. We were going to New Zealand in March, and I loved making videos talking about that and having like a countdown, and then while we were in New Zealand being able to film some of that experience that we were able to have and those memories. And then we got back and life just happened. Something that my husband and I had been talking about before we left for New Zealand was how we were feeling like our life was we're feeling pretty complacent and weren't really doing things outside our comfort zone. We were just kind of living life as it was, just going with the flow. And it almost felt like we were staying safe in our comfort zone, and both of us were getting these feelings that we wanted more for our life, and we didn't want to feel stuck in this same bubble. So we decided to look for ways that we could get out of our bubble. Of course, once you say that, things seem to change. And within 2 weeks before we left to New Zealand, everything in our life just flipped upside down regarding work and uncertainty for the future. And when we came back from New Zealand, our life definitely changed from what it was and what we had known beforehand. Our schedules changed, my husband's work changed, so he started to work more, longer, harder hours, and my work schedule shifted a bit, and I was at home more with my son, and he started to really settle into those the toddler life, and learning more independence and learning boundaries, and that's all emotionally and mentally draining for him and for us as parents trying to navigate this season with him. It felt like life was just upside down, and we were just trying to navigate these new changes and what this looked like for our family. And then I feel like we were just in survival mode for a little bit, and we were taking it day by day and just doing what we needed to get by, and it was hard. It was a hard shift and a hard adjustment, and then I felt like the last 2 weeks, life just caught up to us and everything happened at once that rocked us again. I got a sinus cold, and then I passed it on to my son, unfortunately. And you know that if you're sick with a child, it's already hard enough because you don't have the energy to run around after them. But then when your kid's sick and they're not sleeping well, obviously you're not sleeping well and they're miserable. And so that happened, and that's a reason why I didn't post last week. And one of my braces wires snapped and was digging into my gum, and then I had to get that fixed, and just felt like a lot. My husband was working a lot more and not really taking the time that he needed to rest, so felt like life just smacked us in the face. And I feel like it was probably the best thing that needed to happen, to be honest. We were so used to just being in survival mode and just going forward that we, I guess, forgot to just take a step back and look at how far we've come, and just what's most important in life. And that kind of leads into something that I did this past weekend that I would highly recommend you do, maybe once a week, maybe once a month. But I took 2 whole days off social media. I know that doesn't sound super crazy, but for me it was. I found while I was in this survival mode, I was on my phone and on social media a lot more than I usually am. And I was really seeing how that was affecting my mental health. When I was sick or when I was stressed and trying to deal with my son's emotions, or I was just feeling tired from my husband being at work and me navigating everything at home by myself, I found myself turning to my phone, and I would scroll either to distract myself from what was going on, or I would see a post about people that were hanging out and doing really fun things, and that would make me feel down. Or I would see moms who just seemed to have their life together, their homes together, their kids had all these really fun activities, and it just felt like I wasn't enough. And it just kept adding to the exhaustion that I was feeling, the negative emotions that I was starting to develop because I wasn't taking care of myself. So I decided I was going to take a break from social media for a couple of days. And honestly, it was a little hard at first. I think my brain was just so wired to, if there was kind of a break in my day or if I needed a distraction, I would just turn to my phone. And I deleted the apps off my phone so I wasn't tempted to, because I've tried logging off, but I would just always log back in. So I deleted the apps, and I found that even though I was off it for 2 days, I felt like a weight had been lifted from me. I found that I was more intentional with my husband and my son. We went on a couple of walks together, and of course I still like to take pictures, but my mind wasn't going to, oh, which one am I going to post to Instagram once we're done with the walk, which it was doing, and that wasn't a healthy behavior for me. It was nice just to be able to take a photo and to just treasure it myself for a bit and not feel like I have to share it with everyone. I felt that I was able to be more present with what I was doing. My husband and I were watching TV, and usually I'm sitting on the couch, kind of half watching the TV, half scrolling on my phone. But I sat down and I watched a TV show and was just engaged with this story. And for me, I was like, wow, I just watched this whole show and I was able to appreciate parts of the show. Like, I love how the actors were doing this, or I love how the camera work was like this. It's all these things that I didn't really care for. I felt more invested with the storyline. There was even a moment where my son was napping and I was sitting outside, and I feel like in the past I would have just sat outside and scrolled on my phone, but I was like, hey, no, I can read my book that I haven't read in so long because I've been too tired. And I just felt by taking away that distraction of social media, I was more engaged in the real world. I feel like that's a fear that I have been having lately, is I'm so scared that I'm spending too much time on my phone and too concerned with what other people are doing, that I'm just gonna miss out on real life and what's around me and all these amazing things that I get to experience myself. Experience going out in nature with my family, experience reading a book or watching a TV show. And I just felt like I wasn't as impatient or snappy or frustrated with my family. It was more, I wasn't feeling those negative emotions or negative narratives that I was making up from watching people on Instagram. I had distanced myself from that, and I was using my own thoughts that I guess I've been suppressing because I've been so focused on social media. I don't know if this is making any sense, but it was so refreshing. And then I went back on social media one day after my break, and it didn't really affect me as much as it usually did. I saw some people's posts of them having a great time, but I guess because I had a good weekend and I was feeling refreshed, it didn't bother me as much as it did. And I found I got bored of it easily. I kind of scrolled for a bit and then I was like, okay, I'm done with this now. And I've actually gone and deleted it off my phone again. And I think one thing this break has taught me is that I needed to have a healthier relationship with social media, and I didn't want to feel like my whole identity was wrapped up in it. And I was really hating the fact that my day or my mood would be so easily shifted by one post that I saw, and it's just a picture, someone's picture, and I was making up a story of like, oh, they didn't tell me about this, or they didn't invite me to this. And it's like, I don't need that. Like, it's just a picture, it's just someone showing their highlight reel, and I have been so blessed with the life that I have, and I want to be out living it and enjoying it. So it was nice to take a step back, a step away from social media, and just have that reminder that it's not my identity, it's not something I need to be doing every day. I need to be experiencing the world around me and the world myself. Still trying to work out some boundaries of being on social media, because of course I don't want to be distanced from it forever. I want to see what people are up to and the great things that are going on in people's lives, but I don't want to make it everything that I'm focused on. So I think for right now, maybe taking a couple days break and then checking it once in the evening when everything's quiet, and then being done with it. I didn't like the feeling of being on my phone first thing in the morning and the last thing I did before bed. So I'm working on these healthy habits, and I guess what I'm trying to say is life is still chaotic. My son is still a toddler and learning and pushing boundaries and gaining independence, and my husband is still working long and hard hours, which I'm so grateful for him for. But I need to enjoy the season that I'm in and not be so concerned with what's happening in the next season or be so down about what's going on now. I just need to have my own thoughts. I don't want my own thoughts to be buried underneath social media and all those other emotions that are just not worth it. So I guess what I'm saying is starting to develop healthy habits to help me during this harder season that I'm in, and to tackle it as best as I can. And one of those healthy habits is to take a breather from social media and to do other things that you can fill your mind with creatively, and not feeling like I always need to be distracted, but to enjoy those moments of silence and to learn more about myself and what I think about things, rather than always trying to go to the opinions of others. So I guess if you watch this video, my takeaway is take a break from social media, do something you enjoy, read a book, watch a show without being distracted, go for a walk without feeling like you need to listen to something, or just enjoy the silence. Enjoy not always feeling like you need to be distracted. Just take a break from social media for a day, for a week, for a month, whatever works for you. Just try it. It was so good for me, especially during this challenging time. So I guess that's just my encouragement that I wanted to share on my little space of the internet, and something that I can look back on and remember that I once did this and it helped me. So future Jess, if you're going through another hard time, try this. I hope you're all well. Hopefully I don't get sick again and I can continue posting these videos, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.